Welcome back to the Cricket Matters podcast. Today we're talking about how to play spin bowling, and you will discover the 4D approach to dominate spin, which obviously James will explain, because he's just explained it to me, which is great. But before we do talk about the 4D approach to dominate spin, let's talk about the end of the Test match with India that we've just watched, which was
mental.
Crazy.
Mental.
Absolutely crazy.
Chris Woakes coming out of the bat with a sling, India winning by 7 runs. That was mental. Absolutely mental. Fair play, India.
I felt bad for Atkinson, because he had to try and keep strike, which he did a couple of times really well. But I mean, he was in such a difficult position, wasn't he? I was like,
it was damned if you do, damned if you don't. And it was towards the end, but no, fair play, India. They absolutely came back so strong and made an exciting Test match, exciting Test series. And Test match cricket isn't as boring as people may think it is it, Josh?
I never ever said it was boring. When I've been I've always enjoyed watching Test match cricket.
Yep.
Never. I'm not club cricket. No, can't say I've watched that. But Test match, always watched it. That was amazing. The end then,
wasn't it?
Incredible.
Good.
I was like sat there like really nervous that Chris Woakes was going to have to face a ball or something. I was like, what's he going to do?
It's quite good actually. Working in cricket, we can have a company-like moment to stop what we're doing and go and watch the cricket. That's literally what I ordered everyone to do, basically. So, but no, away from fast bowling and Siraj doing well, let's get into the spin bowling thing, because it's quite timely actually. Because
kind of follow on from last week's podcast.
Yeah, follow from last time, but also I was away in Scotland with the Wales 40s and the Triple Crown playing against England, Scotland and Ireland. Wales came second. And in the over 40s age group, spin bowling tends to lead the bowling attacks. Some very, very good spinners still. Because as you get older, obviously, fast bowling, the speed tends to start to drop off a little bit, right? Yeah. But as a spinner, you become more wily, more experienced, and you become better bowlers in some respects. So there's a high level number of spinners playing, particularly for England and Scotland as well, which was great to see. But it goes into the theme I keep seeing week in, week out, particularly at the club level, particularly in higher level club cricket. And as a step up from high level Premier League cricket to, like, say, Div 1, where the batters can play spin properly. And again, it's about having a plan, knowing what type of pitch it is, knowing what you're trying to do. But I want to take it a step further and talk about what I call a 4-dimensional approach to playing the spin bowling. Now, most people get trapped on the crease, right? When they're playing spin, it's tend to block, I need help, smash it over the boundary, right? Yeah. Oops, I missed it, I'm out. I saw that happen on Saturday from a few people, right? No names mentioned, but I saw this happen in front of me, and it was like, there's no plan. So if you have a plan to spin bowling, you're always going to struggle. If you don't know what the pitch is doing, you're always going to struggle. But if you just stand in the crease, stand back in the crease and try and just block it out and hope for the best, that's not going to work either. So the best players of spin, and what you hear the commentators talk about it now, is that they either go all the way back in the crease, right, and play it late, back in the crease, or they go all the way forward and they're using their feet. That's what I call a 2-dimensional approach, which is a great starting point in playing spin. So you want to put the bowler off his line and length if they're good bowlers. Remember, this is if they're good bowlers, okay? Yeah. So if they're a bad bowler, then you're just going to wait for the bad ball and just smack them over the boundary, which you do down in the lower leagues. But when they get better and this spin starts to dominate you, you've got to think differently, because it's a game of cat and mouse, right? So you've got to think in a 4-dimensional approach. Play all the way back to put his length off, to encourage him to bowl fuller, so you can try and start to drive him. Or you're using your feet to get to the pitch of the ball, right? So you're going down the wicket to try and play it. So that's a 2D approach, forwards and backwards. But that's what everyone talks about, but they don't think about laterally. What about to the left side, to your right side, right? Going across, stepping across to your offside, stepping across to your right side. Because what you're doing then is changing the lines the bowler is now bowling, okay? So, forward and backwards, 100% you do this. But an approach that works really, really well to really piss off the bowlers, and particularly good spinners, is you want to start manipulating the field. You can then start using the angles of going across your stumps, either to the offside or to the leg side. Now, what do I mean by that? It's an approach I use a lot of. So if there's a good spinner bowling, what they tend to do for me, off spinner, off stump, fourth stump sort of line, what I will try and do, I will then literally step across to the leg side, go right across my stumps, show my stumps. I'm happy to show my stumps because I back myself, right, to sweep and sweep well. So I'm going to the leg side. So a ball that would be on fourth stump is now going on my leg side. So I'm then sweeping to the legs quite comfortably because I back myself to hit it because I'm a strong sweeper. That puts him off his line, right? His length the same. I've just put him off his line completely. So what was a good ball, I've then turned into a bad ball technically because I'm now batting as if the stumps aren't there. And I do this quite a lot. I step across because it not only annoys the bowler, it annoys the wicketkeeper. The wicketkeeper standing behind me, he can't see the ball anymore. So, I don't do it like every ball, but a lot of the ball, I'll happily step across and encourage them to bowl on that leg side channel. Because then, what I can then do is once I then manipulate the field around me, I can then start stepping back to the leg side because they'll have moved a fielder across from my offside to my leg side, moving out to sweep for me. And there's now a big gap in my offside. So I then come across the stumps the other way and start playing cut shots and back foot punches through the open gap in the middle there. So I'm then starting to annoy all the fielders completely, right? Particularly as a left-hander, where I've got the right-hander combination most of the time too, going back and forth. So I will use my feet a lot. So again, if there's a ring field in, right, if a ring field in, level one's in, which was happening last week quite a lot, my first plan is to put the fielders back straight. I put them back straight, I can start working ones easily. But then, if it's still not an option, and the sweep is a better option, I then want to try and manipulate to my leg side, so I start to step across my stumps and leave my stumps open. But the most important thing is to have the confidence to bat as if your stumps aren't there. Right?
What are the disadvantages of that, though? I mean, could you potentially be caught LBW or...
You could be bowled. There's a couple of things, but you have to have 100% conviction. So it's only for someone who's confident in their batting ability to be able to take the game to them and know exactly what they're doing and where the field placings are. If you're thinking about technique and thinking about if you're set up, you're not sure about your technique, then this isn't an approach for you. This is kind of like an advanced approach to playing spin bowling, okay? And taking you out of your box and like trying to mess up what the bowlers are trying to do, because it's a game of cat and mouse. So again, let's say against Ireland last week, I came into bat. There was an absolute ring field around me because there was a pressure on quite a slow turning wicket. So I needed to put the fielders back to create space to open up the gap so we can try and win the game. So my first thing was to use my feet. So I started using my feet down the pitch to try and put the fielders back. They moved the fielder back. I started taking the mid-on, mid-off on because I wanted to run at them hard, because no one really does that. So I'd argue if you use your feet well, you can take a one to mid-on, mid-off every single ball. And they get closer, closer, and then there's more gaps to hit past them, and then they have to go back, essentially, right? So that's the first thing I was trying to do. But then I was stepping across the left-arm bowler, who I go across my stumps, because then there was no one out sweeping. Fine of square leg. So I was able to go around the corner. They then moved someone to there. I then started going for cow corner, because no one was there. So it's that game of cat and mouse, because I was taking him around here and using the angles and lapping him around the corner and different things. But the negatives are you aren't confident in your game, you can't sweep properly, right? Or you're not confident in your technique. So this becomes an advanced option to play spin bowling, but to take you out of your comfort zone from thinking, I just need to go all the way forward, all the way back. No, you can use the whole regions of the crease. Forward, back, left and right. Forward, back, offside, onside. And it then changes the whole dynamic of how you're taking on spin bowlers. But you have to have the confidence to do it. So, when we're talking about bigger plans of how to play spin, this is a much more advanced plan, which needs a lot of practice and a lot of you being confident and comfortable coming down the wicket using your feet, but also comfortable sweeping too. And having that idea changes your game dynamically. And interestingly, I think is the best way to put it, to put the pressure back on the bowlers. Because you see test match bowlers, they want to try and take on the spinners as soon as they can, put pressure back onto them. Because it's hard. If they don't find their line length hard, they have to come off. So that's what we're trying to do in club cricket, whereas most club cricketers just sit there and block the crap out of it until they feel comfortable because they haven't got a plan.
I was going to say, is that haven't got a plan, they're not confident in their technique, they need to practice their footwork more, combination of all of those things.
Everything here now, they don't practice certain things. I don't think of it this way. So I'm trying to open up your horizons to thinking there's a better approach to playing spin and club cricket, right? And you can learn from the very best in the IPL, how they play cricket and what they do manipulate the crease. But for us, we turn it into a system. So when I'm coaching young players to play spin, technique is the first thing. If they haven't got head and hands in place and a good setup, there's no point doing anything of this. They need to be comfortable in their game. But then we start teaching them going forward, going backward. But then we not just that, we just teach them going left and right to manipulate the ball around the crease, to give them the confidence to find gaps, rotate, strike, and hit fours rather than getting bogged down. So it's, again, this needs a video, I think, to go with it.
Yeah.
To really dive into it, into the approach that we want to try and take, and then think of like a tactical scenario. Because again, think of our Cricket Matters method. We talk about the physical capabilities. We talk about the mental resilience and mental capacity needed to play cricket. We then look at the technical side of things. Once you have those three, kind of not perfect, but in a really good area, then you've got the tactical, and this comes under tactical because you're applying technique to the tactics of what we're trying to do. I think is the best way to put it. So just a touch on it, try and introduce our 4D system of playing spin bowling, and we'll definitely speak to you guys very soon about more and create more videos around it.
Absolutely, videos. We definitely need to do that. Although we need nicer weather because it's absolutely terrible here. I think that is it for today. Please don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. And if you would like our free training plan, then go to cricketmatters.com/train. And remember, our goal is to make you a better cricketer.